DNA analysis is causing seismic shifts in how we understand our origins, and it's throwing a wrench into the age-old accounts of biblical genealogies. Imagine the shock of discovering that the chronicles you've grown up believing, those of Noah through Solomon, can't stand up to the test of scientific scrutiny. The explanation is simple. If these genealogies were factual, modern Jews and Samaritans would carry a dominant Y chromosome haplogroup. But the reality, they don't. Early endeavors to pinpoint the Y-haplogroup of biblical figures like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob have been dropped. There isn't a single candidate older than 4,000 years that can account for more than a small fraction of Jewish men. To add to the complexity, the most common haplogroup in Jewish men, RR1AY 2619, has its roots in Turkic origins, introduced into the Jewish gene pool by the Khazars around 1,200 years ago. So if the patriarchal lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were real, it would imply that all of their wives were unfaithful, resulting in a gene pool that's, well, utterly chaotic. Efforts to rescue Jewish lineages through maternal lines hit a brick wall when Israeli geneticists found that the majority of Jews in Western and Central Europe descend from merely 4 Italian women, likely Roman breeder slaves. This means that Jewish maternal lines are even less connected to biblical Hebrews than the paternal lines. The New Testament's genealogy also falls under scrutiny. It attempts to trace Jesus' lineage through the Y chromosome, which he couldn't possibly have carried, given the narrative of the virgin birth. The logical inference? Bible stories, especially those concerning genealogy, may serve better as entertainment than historical documentation. There's no significant genetic input from ancient Egypt in Jewish DNA, which would be an impossibility if the biblical narrative of 400 years of slavery in Egypt were true. So how do Bible literalists reconcile this with their beliefs? Some argue that DNA may be unreliable, susceptible to mass universal changes, a concept that doesn't align with modern science. But it's clear that they'll need a more robust argument than that. In conclusion, DNA analysis is reshaping our understanding of biblical genealogies and debunking long-held beliefs. It's a testament to the power of science to challenge and redefine our perception of history.
Imagine the surprise when a DNA test reveals a truth so unexpected, it shakes the very foundation of one's identity. Such was the case with a Lebanese man who, for 7 years, lived a life shrouded in an intricate tapestry of pretense and deception. In a twist of fate, this man found himself immersed in the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community. He attended school in the United States, married a girl from the community, and even led a Jewish youth organization at the University of Texas. To bolster his guise, he meticulously crafted a fraudulent family tree on the popular platform, MyHeritage. His performance was so convincing, not a soul suspected a thing. But as the old adage goes, truth has a way of surfacing. A casual check of his home passport revealed an Arabic name and photographs with signatures in Arabic. His wife was in on the secret, but her relatives were oblivious. His story raises a thought-provoking question. After 7 years in the yeshiva, could this pseudo-Jew be considered a Jew? This tale serves as a reminder of the fascinating complexity of our genetic heritage. We often believe our ancestry to be straightforward, devoid of interfaith marriages or cultural mingling. However, if a Lebanese man could seamlessly blend into an Orthodox Jewish community, it begs the question, who might have influenced our ancestors, and how? In light of this, it is wise to reconsider dismissing DNA surprises as mere noise or characteristic errors. Yes, noise could be a factor, but it's not a given. Life, as we know, is full of unexpected turns. Delving into genetic studies on Jews provides further insights into this complexity. These studies, which involve autosomal, mitochondrial, and Y chromosome DNA tests, unveil a rich tapestry of migration, origins, and genetic heritage. They reveal that Jewish populations share significant Middle Eastern ancestry, with genetic proximity to Lebanese, Palestinians, Bedouins, Druze, and Southern European populations. The genetic lineage of Ashkenazi Jews, for instance, can be traced to both the ancient Middle East and Europe. Jewish men have high frequencies of haplogroups common in the Middle East, North Africa, and Southern Europe. In conclusion, the story of the Lebanese man is a testament to the intricate web of our genetic heritage. It's a reminder that our ancestry might be more diverse and surprising than we initially thought. As we continue to delve into the world of genetics and genealogy, we must remain open to the unexpected. After all, it is these surprises that make our genetic journey fascinating. So, next time you're exploring your family tree or awaiting DNA test results, remember, anything can happen in life. And, as always, stay curious, stay informed. Those wishing to learn about their DNA. A good friend of mine did it with ancestors and 23andMe. The results are striking to the point of absurdity. At first, she got practically Lithuanian. It depends what you want to find. ftDNA does a very thorough analysis of direct male and female lines, but these are specific tests. An autosomal test for the presence of Jewish, especially Ashkenazi roots, is best done at 23andMe, the largest database of DNA matches among ancestors. I also need advice. My mom and I had tests done on 23andMe. I uploaded them somewhere on GEDmatch. Yes, now our close relative, my second cousin, a direct male descendant of one of our main Jewish families, is also ready to take the test. He lives in the USA. What should I advise him so that we can compare with our tests and find relatives in America, and also understand by the Y chromosome who our ancestor is there, from what tribe? If he had done 23andMe too, I could find the basis from him and my mother. That would be great. Will I be able to do this if he passes the pedigree test? What about ftDNA? Do I understand correctly that this is another second test for the Y chromosome? He is waiting for my instructions, but I don't know what he is offering. From a material point of view, no. There was always some kind of discount available. Ancestry and 23andMe don't talk to each other, so to speak. But both campaigns allow you to download the file, and you can then add it to my inheritance for free, GEDmatch, Family Tree DNA, if you are interested in finding relatives. What does this give? Indicates where your roots, ancestors, are from. I also built a family tree. I didn't find relatives this way, but I found a lot of documents for those who were already in my tree. Oh, how difficult this is all for me. As a newbie in this business, where to start? Good afternoon to all group members, it's me again. But with a question about my grandmother. My heritage DNA test showed 7.5% Ashkenazi Jewishness. The trouble is that my grandmother was German in all generations, right up to the 1700s, as evidenced by parish registers, Volga German. Can a test lie? And how can you figure out if there were Jews? Then in what generation should you look? Many people, including me, wonder why matches based on DNA tests do not respond to letters. I've experienced this myself, and it always disappoints me again. So at one time, I did not receive a response from the person with whom my mother had a 2.41% match. And recently, his daughter took a test and answered me with pleasure. Her father turned out to be my fourth cousin, with whom we had already spoken a couple of times on the phone. It turns out the person simply forgot his password and didn't really try to recover it. And I was once again convinced that just doing a DNA test is not enough. Only thanks to my rather large tree, we found out our relationship. I revealed to the new relatives a whole part.
Have you ever wondered what it takes for a non-Jew to become a Jew in Israel? The process is called Giyur, and it's not for the faint of heart. It involves accepting the burden of all 613 commandments of the Torah before a court of 3 judges. If the candidate is male, he must undergo circumcision and immersion in a mikveh. Women only need to undergo immersion. In ancient times, the candidate also made a sacrifice, and the rabbinical court sprinkled the proselyte with the blood of the sacrifice. If the candidate is already circumcised, a substitute ritual is performed. Now let's talk about the term ger. Ger is a biblical Hebrew word meaning stranger and is used in the Torah. Ger and Gioret are individuals who are not ethnic Jews or whose mother is not Jewish, but have undergone the Jewish conversion process. Children born to a converted woman after her conversion are also considered gerim. Male children born after the conversion are considered Jews by birth, while female children are considered Jewish, except for the right to marry a Cohen if their father is not Jewish by birth. However, the road to conversion and citizenship in Israel is fraught with challenges. It often takes at least a year and a half between the opening of a case and the completion of conversion. After this, passing the consular check is no easy feat, as the consulate does not look favorably upon such cases. This can add another year to the process. Despite these challenges, there are those who have successfully navigated the process and are now leading a religious life in Israel. In recent news, Israel's Supreme Court has ruled that more non-Orthodox Jewish converts will be allowed to immigrate to Israel and become citizens. The country's law of return grants citizenship to any Jew, but there have been disputes regarding converted Jews. Orthodox groups demand strict conversion, while conservative and reformed movements offer alternative options. Previously, only conservative and reformed conversions carried out overseas were recognized for citizenship. The court's ruling now allows non-Orthodox conversions in Israel to be sufficient for citizenship. The ruling has been met with mixed reactions. The interior minister, an ultra-Orthodox rabbi, criticized the decision and plans to amend the law. However, opposition leader Yair Lapid welcomed the ruling, emphasizing the need for mutual tolerance and respect. To summarize, the process of conversion to Judaism in Israel is a complex and lengthy one, but recent rulings by the Supreme Court have widened the path for non-Orthodox converts. Despite opposition, there is a growing acceptance of diversity within the Jewish community. Time will tell how these changes will affect the landscape of Judaism in Israel and beyond.